What's up guys, Brad with Squared Away every day, and today we are going to be talking about, is the Tesla Model X Plaid the ultimate daily driver that you could be driving in 2023? Now, in order for a car to be a good daily driver, it needs to not get in the way of just everyday tasks. For it to be a great daily driver, it needs to look good and be fun while doing it. Is this car the ultimate of all the daily drivers? Well, we're going to take a look and see. If you like this kind of content, please go ahead and give me a like, give me a sub, and let's hop into it. All right, so I was actually in the middle of filming a different video, which is Tesla Model Y versus Model X, which is better in the snow. And when I was driving over here, it's a cold day in Colorado right this second. We've got about maybe 8 inches of snow on the ground, something like that. Where I'm at in particular, the roads are completely unmaintained. They have not been plowed or anything like that. And as I'm driving through the snow, I actually found a receipt in my glove box, and it's a track receipt. And it was of me over summertime, like 6 months ago, and I crossed the quarter mile, going 156 miles an hour at sub 10 seconds. And I thought to myself, dang, here I am driving this car right now in the snow, 6 to 8 inches of snow. This is a car that you can seat 6 people. It's got great cargo capacity in it, and yet it's got over 1,000 horsepower, and it can take you to the track and you can run laps all day. Well, at least until you run out of battery. But is that enough for it to really be the ultimate daily driver? When we're talking about a good daily driver, yes, it needs to not get in the way when you're just going about your daily tasks, but it also needs to be a reliable vehicle. And that, me personally, I really do truly believe that Teslas in general are probably the best daily driver. Look at Jay Leno, one of the biggest gearheads you'll ever see, and he drives a Tesla for his daily driver. Why does he do that? Why do so many people who really are car enthusiasts choose to daily a Tesla? Well, it's because they are such low maintenance. Really, as long as you've got good tires and windshield wiper fluid on these things, you don't really have to do much to a Tesla to just continue driving it and driving it and driving it. They're actually very reliable vehicles. I've owned 4 to this point. I've had a Model 3 Performance, a Model Y Performance, an S Plaid, and now this X Plaid. And I still have the Model Y Performance, by the way. And I haven't really had big issues with any of them. Yes, maybe I've got a little rattle that I'll take it into Tesla for that's coming out of like the dash or something like that. But everything I've brought my vehicles into to Tesla for has been like super stupid stuff that I didn't really need to take it into Tesla for. So in terms of reliability, they are fantastic. Now we're talking about this Plaid specifically. It comes in a 6-seater variant. That's the only way it comes. It's got the 2 seats in the front. It's got the 2 seats in the middle, the captain's chairs, and then it's got the 2 chairs all the way in the back. And so me personally, the cabin space is very, very good, specifically for the driver and the passenger in the front. And then in the rear, the 2 captain's chairs. That's a really good setup there for just your passengers. Oftentimes, me personally, I'll go ahead and fold down that 3rd row, and I've got a ton of cargo space back there. Now, coming from a Model 3 Performance to when I bought my Model Y Performance, I was like blown away how much space there was in the back with how small of a vehicle that was. And it's even more so in this. Really, the Model X is not that big of a vehicle. I generally compare them to like a new Honda CR-V or something like that. Size-wise, they're really not that big. But you've got a ton of cargo space back there. And that's super nice. Now, I recently filmed a video called The Top 3 Things I Despise About My Tesla Model X Plaid. And I think some people kind of got confused thinking that I just hate the vehicle and I just really despise it. I don't despise the vehicle. There's just 3 things that I despise. Number 1 being the yoke. I'm not a huge fan of the yoke. And it's because, well, simply I'm a function over form guy. And, you know, you can have all these little buttons and switches everywhere on the yoke. That's totally fine. But you can have it on a wheel, too. We didn't need the yoke. The yoke, I think a wheel is superior. The yoke is very cool. It feels awesome, like you're in a futuristic car. It's just not very practical for me. So now that you've got the option to actually get a wheel, I'm going to be doing that. And I think that that was a big win for Tesla. Good job on them. And then, like I said, there's got that little gap in the back seats. So when you do lie down that 3rd row, stuff can kind of fall forward. I've got a solution for that. So really not too big of a deal for me now that I've figured something out with that. And then the auto doors, the Falcon Wing, all that kind of stuff, you know, I'm just kind of impatient. And so it's not really that big of a deal. But nonetheless, in that video, people thought that I hated this car, and that's not true. I actually love the Model X Plaid. I wasn't even really planning on keeping this car when I initially picked it up, but I was so impressed by it that I just had to keep it. Again, you've got this car that it can preheat and pre-cool in your garage. I know, every Tesla could do that. It's got over 1,000 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. You can cross a quarter mile in sub 10 seconds, going 156 miles per hour. That is so impressive. And to say that you can, in the same car, in the same day, you can go up to the, maybe not the same day, you can't be driving to the track in the snow, but in the same period of time, you could take that thing up to go snowboarding and carry all your snowboards and your gear in a crew full of people. You can take it to go pick up the kids from soccer practice and all their friends. You can haul around a ton of crap in the back. And it's just a very practical car. Is it excessive? Yes. Is it overkill? Yes. Is it awesome? Yes. The Model X Plaid is a super cool car. I truly believe it is the ultimate daily driver, because what else are you going to be looking at? When you talk about the ultimate daily driver, you kind of have to be in like a crossover or SUV category, right? Because we have to have a vehicle that can kind of do it all. And so when we look at cars that are competing in this space that have this amount of capability, really we're looking at like a Lamborghini Urus. And what is that thing going to cost you? 300 to 500,000, depending on what you're getting there. And even then, we have the issue of it being a internal combustion engine vehicle, which means oil changes, which means belt swaps, chain swaps, which means coolant, all that kind of stuff that you have to get maintained, which goes back to my thing of Teslas being the ultimate daily drivers. They're just really, really low maintenance. They're reliable vehicles. Like I said, you can preheat them, pre-cool them. You plug it in your freaking garage, and then the next morning you wake up, it's got a full charge on it. It's an incredible, Teslas in themselves are incredible vehicles for daily drivers. There's a reason why one of the biggest gearheads in the world, and many gearheads drive a Tesla for daily use, and it's because they're just easy. One of those people that you'll be familiar with is Jay Leno, probably one of the coolest car collections that you'll ever see, but he dailies a Model S. I think a Model S Plaid now. So it's just, when you talk about daily drivers, Teslas are the best, in my opinion. And I've owned 4 of them, and I've owned a bunch of other vehicles. And when you talk about the ultimate daily driver, you're looking at this car right here, the Model X Plaid. I'm so excited to be getting the wheel in this particular vehicle. And if you like this kind of content, please go ahead and give me a like, give me a sub, and we'll see you in the next one.